Test one. I'm just starting 5 minutes early just to let things settle in. After that shaky start. I can handle all the tech and failed streams and everything like that, but it really does, like, there's nothing worse than that to kind of mess with your mojo when you've been like prepping for stuff. But these are, you know, in the spirit of what we're talking about this evening, these kind of challenges are where you learn, where you improve. It's good to try and have to handle things on the fly. Yeah, that, looking slightly better, isn't it? My bit rate's a bit more healthy. Let's see how we get on. Looks alright to me. Better than it was. Hey, thanks. Yeah, thanks everyone in the chat. Thanks for sticking around and jumping over. Some of you will be more used to it than not. Sam, good to have you on. RCS. Wyst. Yeah, thanks all of you for submitting tunes. We've got a plan we'll talk through. I will have to kind of giddy things up a little bit just because we've already lost 45 minutes almost. Yeah, if you enjoy this stream, if you could give it a like, that is appreciated. The diffuser is actually on my desk now. That was just for the camera shot, I think I kept that there. Thanks, GoLab. Emil! Okay, this is better, isn't it? Things are holding up a bit better now. I'm just going to thank my generous patrons and supporters. Thanks to my newest patrons, Jack Douglas, Paul R. Harfield, SultyHustler, Kajal Bakrania, and Jean Mays. Thanks very much for your support on Patreon. Thanks to everyone who supports me over there. All the links are in the description for that kind of thing if you're interested. And as we're heading into the end of the year now, I just want to thank those patrons who've stuck around for a long time. Those names at the bottom of the list, thanks very much. Way better, yeah, I think this is way better. Good, alright, we'll trust this now. I have actually got a visualizer working in Ableton in Swobot. I might venture that if I'm more confident in the stream health later on in the evening. We'll see how we get on. Yeah, thanks everyone who supports me there. Here we are. I've set up my nice camera for this evening. I do have some housekeeping. Firstly, I'd like to thank everyone who's submitted music for this inaugural feedback stream. This is the first time doing this, so you'll have to bear with me because I am kind of figuring it out as I go. I have a list of a kind of list we're going to stick to, a playback list this evening. I've got quite a lot to get through. I've got tunes from Rain City Sounds, SultyHustler, Chazwav, Natural Selecta, Wyst, Imprints, BALOG, Gresh, Pope Jean Paul Van Damme, 3 from Emil, and 2 from Domz and Jumanji. So yeah, hopefully we can get through all of these. I really appreciate everyone who sent tunes in. I know it's quite exposing. I actually realised that it was GoLab's suggestion, aka BALOG, to do this, and after kind of posting everything, I was like, God, you know, if it was me a few years ago, I would have been quite nervous about submitting stuff, particularly works in progress, because it is really exposing. But hopefully we can demonstrate that you can foster an encouraging environment with meaningful feedback that is encouraging and just kind of helps you with the problem solving that exists around working with music. And that's really what I'm going to focus on this evening. So I have actually got another cool little kind of reel of a roadmap for each track that we're going to listen to, and that is within wins, problems and opportunities. We're going to frame things like this. More specifically, what worked, what didn't, how would you improve? If we can, we will frame it within this. And the actions will be built around listening and reviewing the music, making lists, implementing those items, exporting and diarizing. Yeah. So I like to frame everything, or if you are struggling with music, like framing things within what worked, what didn't, how would you improve? 3 really simple questions that you can ask about any creative endeavour. Particularly when you do get a chance, I would always encourage you to listen back to the latest bounce of a tune and not in the project itself, because the urge to just tweak and fiddle with things when you're in the session is just overwhelming. And that kind of the distance you get when you kind of diarize music on and listen back to it a week after you last worked on it, it just really maintains objectivity, and it's a great way to remain objective about your music. So, hey new type, hey Marcel, hey Sundog. But yeah, okay, let's come back over here, and I guess we're going to just jump in straight into things now. So hopefully the volumes are okay. I have checked most of the tunes. So first up is Rain City Sounds with Spell. Thanks, Sam. Yes, Jumanji, I did. Got those on the list. Yes, yes. Well, round of applause. Let's just congratulations, Baldwin, for being, or Rain City Sounds for being the first tune on the first ever track feedback stream. Thank you. Rain City Sounds is actually a patron and on the track feedback tier on Patreon. So this is one I kind of provided written feedback for. I'll just read you through like the wins, the problems, and the opportunities that I identified for that one. That's kind of a good place to start with something I've already given feedback on. So let's just see what the chat was saying about that. Drost effect, Marcel. What's that? Yeah, really good work, RCS. We've been chatting for a long time, so it was really nice to kind of actually hear music from you. Yeah, I'll just read through what I fed back on with this one. I'll just share it with you. This is as well as some more and I think any feedback any feedback you get from anyone you share your music with, and so, something I put in a caveat is that it's your vision as an artist. Really, if it sounds good to you and you like it, then it's working. I mean, maybe that's not entirely true, because like whether something sounds good or not is kind of objective with yourself, and it varies from one day to the next. Sometimes you really enjoy listening to your own music, and sometimes, well, personally speaking, I can't stand it. You know, sometimes I hate everything I listen to that I've made. So yeah, I really like the beat in this one. Really nice kind of roll in, step in, like D&B vibes. Really like the atmospheres, the pads, and the melodics that were happening. I like the kind of the gated gated pads and stabs that were happening. The bass sounds were really good. I really like the bass sound design. Yeah, probably my favourite thing in that tune. And I kind of like the switch from this kind of dreamy ambient intro into this kind of unexpected drop. And that was where I thought there was kind of maybe an area, an opportunity to develop the tune. Yeah, I really like the drums. Nice choice of breaks. Maybe some variation would be good. The problems, and we'll see how much I can dig into other people's tunes like this, because it takes a few listens, I find, getting familiar with stuff. And maybe maybe if we continue doing this, I'll take more time to listen to people's music. But I feel like actually the chat is probably contributing. I should probably lean on everyone in the chat to help me out with this and contribute feedback and stuff. Yeah, sure, I can enlarge the text a bit. I'll do my best to keep an eye on everything. If I miss things, I've got about 1 million windows open. And how's that, Marcel? RCS, my vision for this song was to finish a track. Well, you did it. Absolutely. Send it. I think I thought more could be done to build up anticipation before the drop. And then these things, timing of some of the bass notes, these are really like hypercritical things. And whenever I'm kind of providing feedback for anyone, I want to give value and actually kind of maybe notice some things that are useful, and not just like, oh, it needs glue, or it needs something that's kind of abstract. You know, like proper fixes that you could identify and make if indeed you wanted to do that. I thought, yeah, maybe the balance between the bass and the breaks, that's meant to be bass. That, yeah, between the bass and the drums, they could just be a bit more closely balanced level wise, I thought. And again, yeah, more variation through the tune. But if the goal was to finish a piece of music and actually, you know, have a kind of cohesive piece of music from start to finish, which this definitely is, then it was realised. I think the biggest opportunity, like some kind of switch for that second drop, that's always an easy win in a tune, is to just do something different for the second drop. And yeah, maybe some more risers and, you know, bits of ear candy and additional things to kind of hype up into the drop. I think that's always the biggest moment to kind of deliver on a tune. I know it seems like it could seem a bit, I don't know what the term I'm looking for is, but like just making the drop sound big could seem a bit throwaway maybe. But like it's the biggest opportunity for impact in your music, particularly club music, like the type of stuff we're all making. Yeah, okay, let's we've got another one from RCS, but I'm actually going to play yeah, I think RCS, as you're on now, I'll play this next one just in case you can't stay around. So this is called Calling, another one from RCS. Let me just catch up with the chat, make sure I'm not missing stuff. Natural Selecta, in the best way, the intro transported me to some sort of Sonic the Hedgehog tropical island world. I completely agree. It does sound, it's got that kind of 90s game aesthetic. And I wonder if that could be like teased out throughout the rest of the track. I realise if we're talking about a track that's been finished as well, then these, you know, it's set in stone now, and these are any ideas, any additional ideas or feedback can be, the things that really resonate can just be taken forward to your next piece of music. Sundog, I lack this exact vision every time when I'm in the middle of producing a track. Yeah, about finishing a tune. The kids are crazy. So I did a stream the other day and titled it Addicted to Late 90s Ambient Jungle, and it got like 2,000 views in a day for a live stream, for like a 2-hour live stream. Okay, let's jump into this next one. This is kind of, we've got more ambient jungle vibes. This one I haven't actually heard in full RCS, so I'm looking forward to this. If sound levels are wonky at any point, just let me know and I'll adjust things. I have got a visualizer. I don't know if I dare use it. Thanks, RCS. This one is much more of a work in progress. Okay. I will provide feedback to this separately as well. Yeah, I really like this bit. When I heard it. This is cool. Questions in a sec. How'd that work? Great sample. Yeah, nice. I was feeling that one. That was really nice vibe. I really love the kind of, I just love the tone, like the harmony of it, the chords of it. I feel like it's got this kind of lilting atmosphere that's really just working with the rest of the samples that are happening. Really like those chords that come in. They really kind of switch the mood, or kind of bring into focus this kind of longing that ambient jungle is so great at kind of expressing, or being a vehicle for expression, this beyondness, which I love so much about the genre. Yeah, great use of soul pride. Everyone seemed to enjoy that as well. And yeah, great vocal samples, get great kind of chops and these nice evocative sounds that were happening throughout. I hear what you're saying about it kind of just petering out towards the end, and maybe that's not something to worry about for the moment. I feel like you could those chords that come in, they're quite a big emotional shift, and I feel you could probably just continue on that vein and explore it in the same chords, the harmony in different sounds, on pads. You're kind of suggesting. I wonder if it should even go back to what it did before. The great things about when those chords come in, they fit with what's already happening. So I wonder if you could go back to it, but not in quite the same way. There's a great thing to do in music where you go home, but it's different. And I mean, essentially, it's like what I was saying in the previous track. The second drop being an opportunity to for variation, it's a coming home, but it's different because you've been on a journey. You know, that's what I like to think of when I'm making music. Maybe one thing I might change is the like frequency of all the one shots. Maybe you could spread them out a little bit more so they're happening less frequently. But if this is just a whip, then that's the kind of thing that you could do in an hour or something. You could just, you know, you could make a note of okay, I want to thin down maybe the one shot sounds and just spend like 30 minutes just kind of adjusting them slightly before you export the tune at the end, which is what I always encourage. And then chances are when you listen back to it, it'll be really good. Maybe some more delay and atmosphere and like reverb on stuff on the melodic elements might be cool, and particularly some automation would be good. Like one thing I often hear in tunes like this from people is that it's like an opportunity for automation and to record some automation, because just having fun tweaking filters and stuff like that, you can get some really, it's amazing what you can do when you listen back to it, and how decent it can sound when you just automate a few parameters, be it a filter on a synth, be it an effect on the drums, be it some return, you know, sends the tracks go into return channels. But like vibe wise, that track is totally there, I think, which is half the battle, really. So yeah, good job. Thanks RCS for 2 excellent tunes. I think I have got you on SoundCloud, but yeah, if you want to post links in the chat for where your music is, where people can hear it, anything that you've got out there, that would be good. And I'll do my best to compile it in the description afterwards for everyone who's played music. Okay, we're on to SultyHustler. This is Failed Chops. Just adjust the gain. Okay. Yeah, that was good, wasn't it? Yeah. Thanks for being the first person. Thanks for being number 1 submission. RCS has been in the chat for a long time supporting the channel, so I really appreciate you getting involved. Thank you. Did you, RCS, did you... yeah, shoot. If we don't get time to go through all of them, don't worry. I'll just put it on the list for next time. So, if you post it in there anyway, I'll just know. If we do get time, I'll dig into it. But we kind of might, given that we started a bit later. We're doing okay. We've only been on for what, like 20 minutes or so. So yeah, this is from SultyHustler and the tune is called, actually before I do this, I'm going to just answer Natural Selector's question about the visualizer. It isn't something that comes in live. It's a program called Zwobot, which is a Max for Live patch that you can buy it. Just Google Zwobot. But it's great. Pope Jean-Paul Van Damme is an expert in Zwobot and has a channel dedicated to it, or at least most of the output has been about Zwobot so far. And having seen him perform live with it, it's next level. All right. Okay, I think that was everything. Right, let's dig into... This is SultyHustler and the tune's called, or the work in progress is called Failed Chops. Yeah, really nice. That was SultyHustler, Failed Chops. Nice comments in the chat about that. I don't think SultyHustler is actually on this evening, so I'm sure they'll catch up afterwards. Just read some of the comments. Slamhoof, oh my god, that drop was felt on my soul. RCS, I like the interplay of pads, vocals and strings. It also has a nice old school quality to it. Yeah, I think that was brought about by the kind of the break. The break was quite sounded quite dusty and filtered, and very crunchy. I was enjoying that. It reminds me of like of an early Square Pusher release, almost like it's kind of like a mix of Bleep Street and Tundra. It's almost as if it's got that kind of, it's SultyHustler from I'm getting the kind of vibes they might have been in a band or written music or done some kind of songwriting before. It's quite melodic. It's got kind of really quite strong harmonic progression, and the chord, that sounds too technical. The chords are just really nice. They're really lovely and emotive. It sounds very moving as a piece of music to me. I really liked that second drop where, and this is a good example of what we've been talking about, like the vocal, some kind of vocal came in, like an ooh, like a choral vocal. Yeah, I'm just wyst brooding, like that vocal sample in there should keep it more sparse so it's got more impact when the drop comes in each time. I think that can be the tendency sometimes to like maybe fill everything a lot, and sometimes that's called for, and sometimes like the most powerful thing you can do is just take everything away. And yeah, I had some other comments. I really love the kind of cellos. Really nice to hear string sounds in these in tracks. Yeah, I felt the track had a really nice arc. You know, it felt like we went somewhere. Felt like a bit an emotional journey of sorts. Yeah, good. It sounds like someone who SultyHustler might have written songs in before. By that I mean away from a computer. One thing I was hearing is like it's all quite dusty and dark and compressed, and like in music, when you've got a particular atmosphere or a particular set of circumstances musically, there's the prime opportunity is always in the complete opposite. So that could be something maybe quite bright and to the forefront, and maybe you've got these kind of, we've got the contrast of these like synthetic sounds against maybe real life things like cellos and vocals. Like there's always space in between, like what the elements of the music are. The opportunities or those elements usually like the opposite of what exists already. So I'm thinking in something like this, a little sparkle of a completely unexpected sound could really just like change the mood. You know, when you listen to a track and you're like, oh wait, this sound that comes in, you know, and it might only happen once. I can think of, you know, like in you know, Breathe by The Prodigy, where the Wu-Tang Clan sword sample comes in. I know it happens again and again, but it doesn't happen all the time, and it's just such a like powerful, completely unexpected sound in that tune. Like, so I always think that's a really good place for opportunity, is like to just do the complete opposite or chuck in something that was completely unexpected. Otherwise, I think it's really good. I like great work, SultyHustler. That was Failed Chops. Really, I think in the future I'll ask people maybe to bullet point anything they're struggling with that I can specifically refer to. But like, I think that's totally releasable. I think maybe you have like, I'm always mindful. One thing I'm always mindful, like panning breaks like that it doesn't get too unwieldy, and that maybe you do some kind of filtering with it so it's not just like, or that it just fits in. It doesn't jar the listen too much. I don't think that was happening, but Killer Trash Bag, you're back. Jordan, the aiming in the tune is dope. Definitely needs to cut through the mix more. I did think that maybe that could be a top issue. You know, I thought it worked with the kick drum thing that was going on, but it is quite dusty, isn't it? It's quite dusty. Oh, so Killer Trash Bag, are you sultry? Your Killer Trash Bag is SultyHustler. Am I right? Yeah, no, I really like that. That was wicked. I want. Have you been a musician? Have you come from songwriting, SultyHustler? It sounds quite emotive, you know. But yeah, very good. Wyatt, are you okay? Are you okay listening to some more harsh breakcore type stuff? I will listen to anything. There's I will gladly review any music. I'm happy to offer my thoughts on it. There's actually some harder stuff coming from the Pope, from Pope Jean-Paul Van Damme. Emil's got some pretty out there stuff as well. Let's crack on because we've got some thick tunes to get through. Okay, next we are on to, I'm just doing in the order they were posted. We're on to Chazwav. This one's called Relapse. Yeah, no, it sounds like it, Killer Trash Bag. Thanks, Marcel. Appreciate that. Did you want to be a mod on there? Yeah, shoot. That's like, that would be a great question to ask people, actually. Some pointers, you know, some pointers to give me, and is like how long you've been making music and stuff like that. It's normally what I ask people on any student. Well, that's what I ask any students, of course, but anyone on like I'm giving track feedback to. Okay, let's jump into, this is Chazwav Relapse.
No matter what I do, every time I get ahead, it's like I go back. So for right now, I'm just gonna let this one slide.
This is Swobot visualizer, third party, Max for Life.
I get ahead, it's like I go back.
Yeah, it's great.
I don't really even know where
Thanks, Paul.
Are you really? What to do? Because no matter what I do, every time I get ahead, it's like I go back.
this is good. Loved it. It's very enjoyable watching the visualizer to this. A lot of love for this in the chat. Yeah, there we go. That was Chazwav Relapse. There's Chazwav on SoundCloud. I'll do my best to link up after the stream with anyone that's played music or submit music that has got any way you can hear it. Yeah, how are we feeling about that one? That was good. A lot of love for that. A lot of love for the kind of the synth, the kind of wonky bass going on throughout. That's kind of really stepping. I like the minimal vibe of that one. I actually think the drops really deliver in that tune. The elements are well chosen. I feel like they all work together. They're all working harmoniously. I really like the drop in the middle. The overall track is like, yeah, it's got a nice arc and all the moments are delivering as you'd expect them to. Yeah, but I was like, fuck, this is good. Listening to it or just yeah, really impressed. Natural Selecta, I think that's a good point. Natural Selecta has said, could be nice to lean into the rolleriness through the drums in this. I think you probably could do that at points a bit more, maybe stepping up with some 16ths, you know, maybe a bit more. It's kind of suggestions of that, but really, that's a really effective way to hype the energy. One artist I really love is Need for Mirrors, and how they use that, the kind of, again, these ideas of conventions, like that you step up to do a 16th note rhythm in a track like this. You can do that, but and usually it's with a hi-hat or something, you might hear it. But like, there's always, where there's a convention, there's scope to kind of just completely go against the grain of that. So maybe like delivering some different rhythms, maybe some like, the whole thing's got this kind of this triplet thing going on to it. And maybe you could just mess with some other rhythmic sounds within those kind of divisions, be it 16ths or triplets or whatever, that were kind of unexpected. That would be if I had to find a kind of like opportunities to improve it, or opportunities. Yeah, that was very good. I kind of like the development of the bass sounds as well. You know, there were lots of there was interest throughout. They were there was enough going on that despite the tune kind of remaining in one, like being essentially, you know, it remains on the same note throughout, really, or around it. The variation in the bass stuff was really good. And I think I didn't think it was too hard. Like, so it wasn't too tech steppy. It was like, it's got like kind of nice, like, got a kind of nice organic feel to it. I enjoyed that. Yeah, some more variation in the drums. I think that the but Sundog, big thumbs up for that track. I felt that this was perfect the way it was for me. That's great. Yeah, me too. Like, it feels like if this track had, like, this, Chazwav should just send this if they haven't already, because it's done. Killer Trash Bag, any tips on getting my amen to cut through more? Well, I mean, I can certainly recommend my amen videos if you haven't watched those yet. Precision amens for Modern Jungle, and even the I think like the choice of sound amen you work with anyway makes a big difference. I like to do a bit of post processing before I chop it, and I like to use like RX 950 by I can't remember what they called now. the RX950 plugin. If you just search RX950 plugin, which is an emulation of the S950, the Akai S950 sampler, that's really great for adding top end or making your aim ends cut through. But a good way to do it as well is to scoop the mids and just boost the volume of everything else, and then compress it quite hard and blend that back in somewhat. Killer Trash Bird, turn them up louder. Yeah, it could be a balance issue. Sound goodizer. So our Natural Selecta lives in Birmingham as well, and we went for a mixing session, and he uses Fruity Loops, and I was like, that's fine, we can just figure it out. And there was a plugin on there called Sound Goodizer, which I've never encountered before, but anyway, that was quite funny. I'm sure people have heard of it. I suggested using it, to which the response was, it's a meme. Okay. So yeah, cool. That was a good one. Chazwav Relapse, nice. Like the samples going on that as well. Okay, we're on to Natural Selecta now. I've got this one in. Anything you'd like to say about this one, Natural Selecta, for context? This is called Tickerrr. Yeah, Infonic is the one. Infonic is the one. That plugin. definite Psy vibes. Psy, kind of hard house. Got footworky bits going on as well with the percussion. Yeah, nice. That was Tickerrr by Natural Selecta. Got some context for that one as well. A lot of love in the chat for that though. Let's just catch up. Not a lot. Natural Selecta, I've not been producing for long, maybe a year, but very on and off. I've actually seen Natural Selecta play DJ a few times, and I think it was seeing one of his sets, and he dropped a like ghetto house kind of donk thing or some donkey thing, and I was like, this, I've got to try and make tunes like this. So whenever you hear me trying stuff like this or trying stuff like that, it's thanks to kind of probably to that DJ set actually. And so yeah, so let's have a dig into that one then, into Tickerrr. I really like the kind of I like the tempo, I like the vibe of and the rhythm of the bass and the drums and everything that's going on. The groove is there. I kind of like the bass and the drums are working really well together. It feels like it's really got a solid foundation. I like the progression when we start getting the phasey bits coming in. Also like the melodics texturally as like as something that's there. I'm not too sure on their like on the notes they're playing. It kind of, to me, I know it's kind of, we're in this Phrygian world, this semitone Phrygian world, where things are quite clashy and stuff like that. But I feel like and I'll come on to that. I'll just focus on what else, like on the positives, or the wins. Yeah, look, the step up in rhythms when the snare drops in, when you got that kind of harder section of the bass changes pattern, that was really good. I really like the little bits of hi-hats coming in and like the rhythmic variation with the kind of clave or the tom sound, even the tom sound throughout. They're giving it these footworky vibes. I feel like, can't read what I've written there, but yeah, so I feel like that melodic idea is interesting as a concept, but maybe the notes could be stronger with what's going on underneath. I feel like they could follow the chord progression more evocatively. I feel like one thing that works in like something like hard house or psytrance or faster genres like that is where you have, I like to think of it like almost like concentric circles moving at different speeds, or gears moving at different speeds. You've got this kind of groove that's going on all the time with different rhythmic divisions, you know, like kick drums, doof, 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 and then maybe things syncopated, and then like stuff moving along at that speed as well. And then when you can kind of add these much slower evolving sounds, like spacious sounds over the top, something like that might be really cool. Also, like some kind of vocal idea or something that yeah, I feel like this track would work really well with a vocal sample or some kind of human sample to kind of it to me it sounds like it would really benefit from one. just as like a contrast to that tune by SultyHustler, like I didn't feel that needed vocal. Like sometimes I think to myself, like every time I'm like, this needs a vocal to my own music. But yeah, this tune, I thought if you could have like some cool kind of ghetto house hip hop thing over it, might be really fun to work with. But yeah, I think just maybe if you could experiment more with the melody over the top and some melodic elements like that, like parts of the phrasing are nice and work, but I think just some of it is slightly jars with the rest of what's going on and takes away from the impact of the groove underneath, which is quite pounding. And I think like there are elements where you like tease in rhythmic variation, and I'd love to hear those continued. It's a bit like just like just deliver or just give us what we want, if you know what I mean. Like more of the downbeat, keep the downbeat rolling for a bit. I know you like mess around with like it hits for like 2 measures and then goes back to the offbeat. But just kind of keeping that snare going again. It's a dance floor track, isn't it? And just like how you would keep that energy up. And loads of opportunity for ear candy. I don't think it wants too many like. You could really go to town on like recording mad effects automation and mad sound designy stuff on top of this, and just teasing that in because you've got that roll. You've got the basis there. The foundation is there. I'd love to hear that. Yeah, no, sick tune. Let me just catch up. Yeah, Natural Selecta. It very much started off as a footwork track when I first started. I've heard lots of Natural Selecta's other music as well, and it's such a variety, which I think is a real strength. I've always admired the way like you and Emil, and these are people in my kind of circle in Birmingham, like just the kind of genres that you play with. I think that's a real strength, and just lean into that as much as you can, because that's where new exciting things happen. Yeah, incredible work considering you've only been producing for that long, wyst. Absolutely. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of us here who've been, you know, going 10 years plus or something like that. And it just seems like it's an ever uphill struggle. Yeah. I hope that helps. I hope that's useful. I'd love to like, love to hear it again. Yeah, let me know. Yeah, a break or a bigger drop or something to kind of like really step the energy up, because we go in quite hard, you know, and like how are we gonna I always think with a tune, like when once you hit a certain level, like either you've got to go down or you've got to go up, haven't you? It's a bit like whenever you bring an amen in a jungle track, that's 11. That's, you know, unless you haven't brought the bass in yet. But that's like, and so when you start off like here, you know, how are you going to move up and down energy wise? I think within the music, you know, it's very easy, and like one really easy way is to just take everything away, and that can be the biggest impact, because it can be very hard to kind of take things up and up and up. You know, what comes up must come down. You, the musical engineer, I've tried using Ableton. I just find it a bit awkward. I did when I started. It took ages to get I still find parts of it awkward. Okay, that nice tune from Natural Selecta. That one was Tickerrr. And I think you can find Natural Selecta on SoundCloud if you search that. Yeah, man, just make sure you post your links and stuff. Post your links here on Discord, and I'll make sure I add them into anything. Okay, now we're on to Fragments by wyst. Thanks everyone for locking in to this first inaugural feedback stream.
sensations experienced at different moments. Fragments seen from different angles. Fragments seen from different angles. The image combines fragments seen from different angles, presenting simultaneously, experienced at different moments. This is something commonly done. It enhances the vitality of the human presence.
Yes, very nice. That was Fragments by wyst. wyst, I think you're in the chat as well still. Any context for that one? Some nice comments in the chat on that one. Smooth. This is lush. Lovely drop. So soulful. Face twister. Another great track. Chill but a bit aggressive. Yeah, I thought so as well. Nice chops. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's been a great evening of music so far. Thanks everyone for submitting a lot of, some finished music by the sounds of it, but also whips. Also it's really nice to hear people, being happy to share music that's a work in progress. I guess that's what I do all the time. So and that was my intention in doing that would be to just encourage people to be more open about all of it, and sharing these things. So yeah, I thought really like the chords in that one. That's already the kind of bass idea that comes in, or the right from the get go. I really like the rhythmic, the percussive elements that were kind of setting the scene. That there's been some really good scene setting throughout with the tracks tonight, like kind of bringing people into a world of a piece of music, and I thought that was the same here. Really like the vocal, this kind of ghostly vocal that you can't really, it's like indiscernible. I always love that kind of stuff that's buried and slightly hard to discern. I like the change. It had the kind of it was lots of unexpected twists and turns, which was really good. Like the change to 4/4 at points. I really like the drop. That was kind of completely unexpected. I think I was, it was playing with my expectations throughout, and I thought at points that was really delivering, but maybe not so much at other points. We'll come on to that. Yeah. Really nice chops, lovely sound palette, choices of sound. I thought there's real cohesion in all the just samples and sounds and everything, which is a big thing to kind of nail. Yeah, so I really like the sound palette. Like problems and opportunities, I'll kind of combine the two really, because kind of where the problems are opportunities really. Wyst is in music I've been making that I'm trying to make more of a journey, but I just don't know if it works as a whole tune, as there are quite a few sections going on. That's kind of what I was going to come on to. We do like chop and change quite a bit, and I think that's fine in a piece of music. That's good when you can make it work. And I think it really depends on what the tune works, what the tune wants, sorry. And this is why I think it's always good to maintain objectivity when working on music, because if you give it a while away from a track, you can actually see the woods for the trees, and you can see what's working and what isn't. And maybe we go through too many sections in this one, or maybe like the sections that are really working, like that drop, you really want to make that the focus of it. I think it's fine to skirt through other sections, but it's kind of maintaining that unified feel to things, which is so hard to deliver on sometimes. And just like that, when the drop happens, like you want to keep that rolling. You want that to come back again, and it does. I thought like when we step down, there's kind of a slightly awkward sounding chord change at one point, which I feel like you could maybe explore some different chords which were like more impactful. I think like I really like the idea of this step down or this change, but maybe the chords could have a more deep seated emotional effect. So I think, and hopefully you know the section I'm talking about. We kind of step down a semitone or something like that, and it just slightly jars, and maybe not in a good way, or maybe not in the way that like is best for the music. I feel, and that's like with all this feedback, it's not. I'm always trying to think what's best for the song, what's best for the piece of music, and not what I want to hear, you know. And of course, that's very difficult to maintain a separation between the two. But like, I think that's with practice and like kind of really getting good at listening, you can kind of get better at discerning what a given piece of music might want to have in it, especially if it's a work in progress. But again, that is my choice. So, Pope says, great stuff. I was wondering if maybe there are too many build-ups at the start. Yeah, I thought like after that kind of 4/4 comes in, I was expecting that to go somewhere, and it maybe there's an opportunity to deliver on that going somewhere. Felt like it maybe could have had a drop at the start before going into second build. Yeah, really like the vocal, unexpected but felt right, kind of ghostly and weird. Pretty sure it's done, but I feel like I might need to add something to it. When the track started off, I wasn't expecting choppers. No, I really like the kind of we definitely go through a journey, and I think you've totally achieved that, Wyst. Yeah, I felt like maybe the chords could have been stronger, maybe they did veer away from, or they weren't quite delivering in the key that they needed to at that point. But again, this is one listen, and I think, but like as a concept, it's totally delivering. I think it just needs like maybe some clarification around the key points of like, right, this is it. This is the moment where this is the highlight of the tune. And just making sure that is brought to the front, and the effect of it is sustained throughout the piece of music somehow, and maybe that will give the cohesion. SultyHustler, you're most welcome. Thanks for being a patron too. See you around. Thanks for being on and sharing your music. Thanks so much. Okay, so that was Fragments by Wyst. And now we're coming on to Imprints SHREDA. Work in progress. This is a good one, this. All the tunes have been excellent. Need to switch these up somehow, but that's all we're getting tonight, I'm afraid. Yeah, pleasure, wyst. Great work though. Jordan, yeah, I completely agree. I thought that. Bob Roberts, all the links are in the description via Discord, please. Yeah, top notch. That was sick. I did manage to listen to everything this morning, or at least most of it. And I thought I really liked that. Imprints, how are you feeling about it? Any context? I know English isn't your first language, so don't worry if not. But yeah, I don't have like. Let's go through the things I liked, because I don't really have much. Like, that is totally ready to release. That's totally there. I think that maybe there are some mixed comments, but I really loved the sound palette. I love the sparkles, that kind of sound that happens from the beginning. The vocal in there really works. I love the chords and atmosphere, just the general vibe, the general scene that's set. Someone's commented about the flanging. Yeah, there's kind of nice stereo movement going on throughout. It's very much a world we're stepping into. I think the bass line works really well with the break too. And I really like the arc of the track. It's kind of nice when you just drop out to just the drum pattern at one point. It feels like the one section moves into the next really naturally. And yeah, I think maybe like the kick and the bass, maybe they could be tightened up somehow. Because they're both quite weighty, and I guess this is the trade-off in like more modern Liquid stuff, when you're kind of doing that ambient jungle thing with it, is like just getting those two elements meshing nicely. I don't know what your like monitoring setup is like at home, or what you make music using, but it could be really good to maybe have a mix or a listen to that in a club, or actually in a studio, in a treated room with reasonably decent monitors. I like in Birmingham you can hire studio spaces, pirate studios, and okay, it's not amazing, but they've got nice big speakers in a treated room, and you can actually really hear the bass then, and what that's doing down there. And maybe it could be a simple case of just like tightening up the release on the bass, or maybe even some EQing. Might just kind of make those elements gel a bit more together. Yeah, and that's really all I could say about that tune. I think it sounds reasonably well mixed as well. Like everything's Everything's coherent. Yeah, a nice roller, like a nice ambient, dreamy roller. Maybe there's more. Maybe there is some space for some more atmospherics, as in effects, some delays. I'd love to hear some delays on some of those sounds. You know, particularly the vocal. But all that stuff I consider like extras. Whenever I get to that point in my tunes where I'm like, I want to add delay to a vocal, I can, if I'm worried about that or I'm thinking about that, then chances are like it's done. It's done, because these are the things that you can add in like a session. But yeah, Bob Roberts would describe as a solid vibe. Would be nice to have some more bass slowly sweeping in every once in a while. Imprints, yeah. So if you do have a chance to like hear that in a room or something, just because when you've got quite weighty low end, like which this track has, just keeping it in check. That would be, and like I'd have to hear it myself in the same room to kind of be 100% certain on that. But I think absolutely send it. In the words of Emil, send it. That tune's done. Really, really great work. Really lush, nice track. Yeah. Was there anything particularly Imprints you were struggling with it? We'll get the next one queued up anyway. How are we getting on? Okay, I'll probably go to 11 o'clock, so we got like another hour. Let's kind of push on. Okay, so that was SHREDA by Imprints. Okay, this is a good one. This is by BALOG, aka GoLab. I did a stream with GoLab's like Ableton racks the other night, like designed for kind of like based on a Mackie mixing desk and Focusrite Green EQ, as well as some other kind of, probably best to go over and watch that stream and just head to the links in the description. But GoLab sent me those devices and I was like, wow, they sound great. Really, really good. Imprints, you're most welcome. I think that tune is wicked. Yeah. I'd drop that. I don't do much DJing, but I would totally start a set with that. Or play it early on. You know, it's a really nice dreamy intro track. Would work totally well in any ambient jungle mix. And I like the heavier weight of it, the more liquid, like Jordan said, crossing over into the liquid vibe, into like more modern sound. It's got that weight to it. So, yeah, win. Okay, this is Skin Lab by BALOG. I think people will like this one. hat can do. Devastating. Wow. That was Skin-Job by BALOG. BALOG. Head over to SoundCloud. Give them a follow. Should have way more followers than that. That was amazing. I think that totally fits. Like, I think when you sent that over, I was like, this sounds like the title is perfect. BALOG, aka GoLab. I'll refer to GoLab for the chat. Added some comments when posting in Discord, which was, I'd like to know whether the arrangement is okay. Is there enough going on in the structure? Does it need more variety, or is it okay the way it is? So I thought, I think it's done essentially. I think it. I love the slightly slower tempo, dark side vibe to it. Love the percussive elements, love the break, love the choice of sounds. It's really nicely mixed as well. It's nice and loud, mix-wise. Love the Atmos with kind of that kind of the kind of glissando type sound you've got going in there is just like so Blade Runner, so kind of post-apocalyptic. I think there could be more variation for sure. I like when those hats come in. It's just like, yeah, that's such a step up in energy, and such just a beautiful placement of an additional break. I wonder whether you could. I noticed your comment about like maximum results from minimum samples, and I love to operate under those conditions because I love to kind of squeeze the juice. And I really find it a good test for my creativity that I can deliver with a very limited sound palette. But I think maybe when one more break at some point, added some steppy snares, some shuffly snares would be lovely. like, and you're doing this thing every 8 bars or however many it is with the break, this like nice little fill. Maybe you could do some other stuff with percussive elements or with break elements as we move through the track that would just lift things up. Another comment, and I guess like a switch for the second drop would be worth experimenting with. I don't know how you feel about that. You might just want to keep it the same throughout, which is fine. I think that would totally work. Maybe you could go straight back in with those hi-hats for that second drop, or switch the break pattern up, some kind of variation for the second drop would be cool. Another thing I thought when I listened to it this morning was like, I'd love to hear like, not a Blade Runner sample or like a Blade Runner vocal sample, but maybe some kind of vocal sample would be cool, or some kind of sample. It's reminding me of like Fracture. And one thing, Fracture like uses noise really well. And I'm sure you're a fan as well, GoLab. And like the way he uses noise to kind of like little crackles and stuff like that, I reckon that would really suit the aesthetic of this tune. Maybe a completely unexpected sound at one point as well. Maybe like like if we've got this kind of dark dystopian future vibe, having either like a natural world sound or like the sound of an airlock opening. Not an airlock opening, but like what a control panel might sound like. Bleep, 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 bleep. Some kind of like weird, otherworldly, computerized sound might be really cool. Like a little bit of ear candy at one point. Yeah, very atmospheric. Kamika, no, there has been a lot of drum and bass this evening, but it isn't all drum and bass. You can post anything. I'll listen to anything. I think I make a pretty wide variety of music on stream as well. So I don't just make drum and bass or jungle. I don't really make drum and bass, to be honest. But yeah, I think this is any genre is welcome, and I'm happy to pit my wits against it musically. Definite Metalheads vibes. Techno's good. Yeah. Was that useful, GoLab? I feel like that's a dark, moody track. It's so cool, such a vibe. We're talking 20% here. You know what I mean? Like you could drop that at a club, no danger, and that would go down well. Yeah, this is the place to come when when the music is, when you're looking for that last, when you've taken it as far as you can, or where's the place for wherever you are at in the creative process. Yeah, but great, really nice dark work. Excellent. I think, some variation, maybe with another break or something, but you don't want to ruin that vibe. You don't want to take away too much from that dark, understated, stripped back vibe. How can you keep that kind of skeletal thing going on? Okay, we're on to Gresh Snowdrift. This one's in. Another nice one. Nice ambient jungle tune, I think. Kamika, we're on to some garage and stuff after this. By Gresh, this one's called Snowdrift. Yes, very nice. That was Snowdrift by Gresh. Let me catch up with the chat. Yeah, have I heard the flute sample somewhere before? I don't know if Gresh is in the chat this evening. My daughter likes how it is fast and yet it is calm. Yeah. That's the good thing about like jungle and ambient jungle, isn't it? It's fast but calming. Yeah, nice lead. I like the lead that came in. Sundog, I've heard your music as well, and yeah, you should never be afraid to use leads. I think it's more about the choice of notes, though, isn't it? That's the most important thing. Yeah, the James Brown moment, that was a really nicely placed kind of fill there with the James Brown voice. Yeah, okay. So yeah, love the elements. Another track with a great choice of sounds. I really like that kind of the vibe, the like road sound at the beginning. I like the pad that was coming through, this kind of airy pad sound, phasey pad. It was really filling out the space nicely. Nice fills and variations throughout with this one. I like the lead sound that came in. It was a nice check. Like everyone's commented on that. That was a kind of nice change in mood. And yeah, it can sometimes, I guess people can be reluctant to use them. I certainly can as well. I mean, it's when you use a lead in a track, it's you know, if it's not just like a motif that's repeating, it kind of feels like it needs to go somewhere, and I think it did. I think it did do that. Maybe it went too high, and it sounds like at the end that it might have just been left in by mistake, because it's potentially just a bit high and shrill towards the end. And maybe you could just like change the notes or just get rid of that bit. I really like the switch of the break at the end as well. That was cool for like an outro. That's a nice little trick. If you're struggling with an outro or the end of a track, just change it completely. Just change it completely. Bring in an entirely new thing. And yeah, really work for this. I think maybe mix wise, like it felt to me like the keys, like the Rhodes, were maybe a bit louder than they wanted to be. They could maybe sit back in the mix a bit. Also felt like they could be tempered with maybe some reverb or some kind of sense of space. Indeed, I think maybe the whole track could benefit from a bit of a bit of mixing. I thought like maybe the choice of bass sound wasn't necessarily working with the rest of the music, and maybe it was a bit too aggressive, or like you probably could get away with a simpler bass sound that fits in with the mix nicely. But I really like the breaks, like the choice of breaks together. They were quite kind of choppy at points and like shuffly, but I think it worked with the overall vibe. You know, so like you hear a lot of jungle, particularly older stuff, where the breaks, the timing and the grooves are maybe a bit loose, but they kind of work. They jar slightly, and I feel like that was actually working. I feel like I really liked the exploration of chords and harmony that was happening towards like the end of every 8 bars or 16 bars. But maybe that could be, again, experiment with a different progression, because I don't know if it was working at every point, particularly with the lead was happening. And often with these things, it's just a case of experimenting and maybe trying some different variations as the track progresses. Gresh is in the chat. Man, that high note is annoying. Sorry, folks. No, it's okay. Don't worry. Yeah, I guess that was like that's an easy fix, though, isn't it? It's an easy fix. You know, like if you're not sure what to do about something, like you can always get rid of it. Although yeah, Yeah, I like the lead was like a nice simple like saw wave tone that just worked really well. I think some reverb on it would sound really cool. It was kind of hip hoppy, you know. It was like a Dr. Dre lead or something. It was nice. Yeah, another great job. Really like the ambience. There's slightly jazzy feel to it as well, you know. Like kind of that 90s jazzy jungle drum, like a proto drum and bass type thing going on with that, which I really liked. That's cool. Okay, let's see how we're doing. Okay, Gresh. Now, I think I'll only get time to play one of Emil's tunes and one of Domz and Jumanji's tunes, but we should have time for 3 more. So, absolutely mad tracks tonight. Even for feedback, I mean, I think one of the things you could take away from this, folks, is that your music's probably better or more ready than you thought it might be. So, now we on to Pope, yeah. Oh, this is Pope Jean-Paul Van Damme. I've had the privilege of sharing the bill for the inaugural Ned Rush More Kicks and Friends in real life with Pope Jean-Paul Van Damme in Cardiff, and his set was absolutely amazing. The visuals were insane as well. I had no visuals, but yeah, it was amazing. Let's hear this one. It's called AcidRoid. yes, love that one. Love the vibe of that. The Pope did give me some notes as well on this one, which I'll just read for context here. What was this? It's a bit of a hot mess at the moment because I've been dipping in and out of it for several months. So there's a few different bits I haven't tied together properly yet, and loads of effects processing / automation I need to do properly at some point. The last section needs something else happening. At the moment, it's just an unfinished loop. I think that end bit is like my favorite bit of the track. And I think it's my favorite bit of the track because of everything else that happens before it. So yeah, like I said, the Pope Jean Paul Van Damme and I, we know each other anyway, and have shared the bill on Ned Rush's More Kicks and Friends, both online and in real life. So I'm kind of familiar with his music, and like this is very much his sound. It's very much your sound, and yeah. So I love the breaks. I kind of like the scary, discordant chord progression that we're moving through right from the beginning. I think really speaking to your comments on the post as well, it sounds like all the sections are there and like the cohesion between them is or like I don't know if you'd ever do this, but like having the end section is quite emotive and melodic, and it's at odds with what I normally hear in your music, and I really love that. And I wonder if you could bring that in at different points. You know, you could tease it in. There's also that really nice like dub out section where it's just drums, and maybe that could be played with throughout the tune. Like this is what I often do with like music. The sections will be there, but maybe they're all happening. They're bunched up, if you know what I mean. And really, I just want to take a bit of this and maybe chop and kind of mix them up, chop them up and mix them up in the arrangement. But I suspect everything that you've spoken to, you'll just continue working with as you develop this. So I don't think there's anything to worry about there. But yeah, like nice progression. There's a nice difference in sections. There's loads of really cool variations, and I know how you kind of work with like generative stuff, and I always think your stuff sounds really tight and it really works. It's like really, really drilly in a good way. I think when those end chords come in, you know, you've got loads of scope to really vary that, maybe with some counter melody, like do 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 do. You know, you could even maybe add some more chordal variations, moving up in register, going higher, or maybe some like do 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 some arpeggiated lines or some counter melody lines to really develop that. And maybe you could do the same on the acid synth or like an SH101 sound that was really kind of delivering on that emotional quality that it has to it. Yeah. But bass sounds a little out, I think. I'd love to hear some more rhythm in that bass. Do you know what I mean? Like some more octave jumping and stuff. I think that could be really cool. Yeah, there were other like, what about a vocal sample? Any thoughts on a vocal sample? Any thoughts on some kind of at odd sound that might that might really enhance the tension, particularly maybe before you switch to those sections? Like, you kind of teasing the end chords in the middle anyway, and I wonder if you could veer into that really kind of resolved harmony a bit more, because it's got that kind of discordant first chord change, and I wonder whether you could resolve that to kind of give the illusion that things are going to come home. There is going to be a resolution, because the whole thing is just tension until the resolution at the end, which is why I like it so much, because it just resolves so nicely. I think it's got this like impending doom quality, and I heard something really good in the track recently, just like with like a building up of noise to the point it obscured everything. I wonder if playing with something like that could be quite fun. Yeah, like an overwhelming texture, like something just really over before there was kind of some abrupt change in sound or something to like kind of break the madness. A bit like in what's the Aphex tune? Come on, you can't have some Aphex acid when that happens. I feel like that might be a bit obvious, but yeah. But yeah, definitely that dub out section could work earlier at different points. I feel that could be really nice, like contrast. Yeah, that's definitely the word I like to use for all of the tracks from this evening. The more contrast you can add to your music, the better, I think. Particularly at moments of tension where you're looking to deliver on a drop or something. It's when you can play with people's expectations, and really deliver on the musical moments and the emotional impact of your music. So I hope that's helpful. But yeah, I think you just carry on working on it as you are. But that's certainly my thoughts on it. Lovely and crazy tunes tonight. Absolutely. It's been great. Okay. So I've probably got time for 2 more. Let's do Emil, are you on? Is there any one of the tunes that I should play if you are on? I'll give you a second. Yeah, thanks everyone who's submitted music. I hope my thoughts have been useful. I may be telling you how to suck eggs, but yeah, is there anyone you'd want me to listen to? I think I like Faerie Liquid. That was pretty cool. I didn't get to Side Alley, but I did hear Faerie Liquid. Okay. Yeah, that was pretty cool, that one. But CD is Dead was good as well. Let's go with CD is Dead, yeah, we'll go from the top. And anything I don't play, Emil, I'll just play next time. Okay, this is CD is Dead by Emil. Bit of context, Emil and I met at both our first listening sessions. So we've known each other on probably for 7 years, kind of dipping through listening sessions mainly, and then Emil's like with Natural Selecta, they're both key players in High Key, which is a nice local Birmingham event and label. Faerie Liquid, yeah, Faerie Liquid. All right. I did like this one as well. By Emil. chat that to Selecta and I'll reload it. No, you don't have to do that. No reloads. Yes, nice. Was that actually Faerie Liquid? That was the right tune, was it? So again, a bit of to elaborate on the context. Like I can remember Emil's first tune, and just like the progression, the development is insane, really. So well done, yeah. Like well done for sticking the course and like not not stopping, because it's like 7 years is a long time and it's so easy to just fall off and not stick with it. So yeah, that's not easy. Like that's the hardest thing about producing sometimes, is just stick in the course, because it's like it's a lifelong thing. So yeah, I thought that was amazing. I really liked it when I listened to it earlier. I really like the CD is Dead as well, but Faerie Liquid was kind of really interesting with those texture elements. And like the first time I've kind of heard you using like almost neuro-y type bass sounds, which were really cool. So yeah, I love the textures. I love the contrast between elements. You've got this like bubbly synth going on, the Faerie Liquid synth, with these kind of like snarly wavetable bass stabs, which just works lovely. You know. No, it's not that one. Yeah, really good. Really like that. Really interesting contrast. Like it's almost like chewy. It's almost like ASMR. You know, you can almost like you want to make the sound with your mouth. Love like the simplicity of it as well. Just like with this, just like descending line. Really cool. I love those edits with the that's happening. That's really nice. Really effective. I think the mix is really good as well. Like, yeah. And I like the melodic sections. I wonder how much the tune needs it, you know, and whether or not you need the kind of melodic bit at the beginning, or whether you could focus more on weaving the Faerie Liquid, or really keeping it sparse. I don't know, but I kind of also like the unexpectedness of the change. It almost goes from this like R&B vibe, Destiny's Child intro, into this like bubbly like two-step thing. So yeah, send it, Emil. I think it's to like that would be my only thought, is like, does it need that kind of section? But also it does really help deliver on the impact of the drop. I just wonder if someone was hearing that tune for the first time, they'd listen to the drop, although they may well skip through to find it. Do you know? I hope I'm being clear in what I'm saying there. That like, like as a piece on its own, it's really nice. You've got these really nice melodies going on and stuff, but then it kind of comes in with the chilling. Yeah, okay, that's kind of what I was going for. Chilling, then it hits you. Well, I think it totally delivers on that. I mean, like that's all of this is just my opinion, and just like me hearing it, like because the drop is so hard and so devastating, but maybe it is because of what comes before it. But other than that, I can't really fault it. I think like it kind of develops throughout as well when you play with it, but also you haven't overcrowded it. There's not too much going on. It's like simple in a nice way. Yeah, all right. That was top notch. Really interesting as well. Really out there. Really like that. You know, it's. I listen to that. I'm like, I want to make music like that. Okay, so last tune. I'm going to play one from Domz and Jumanji. I don't know if either of them are on. No, it's a winner, Emil. Really good. Okay, what am I doing? So this is last tune of the night. I did load them in here, did I not? Let me just see how they were sent over. So Jumanji was one of the first people to comment. I think he may have been actually the first person to ever get in the chat on a live stream. So, and I know he's posted my stuff about, and Domz plays my tunes regularly on his live stream. You should check out his live stream. I'll link to that in the description as well. But Domz and Jumanji have been making tunes together, and they had a release out on 36 Hertz. So this one's called Tempo. We'll play this one.
Hey, whoa, whoa, hey, whoa, hey, whoa, whoa, hey, hey, whoa, whoa, hey, whoa, hey.
Oh, Dom's just not good.
Hey, hey, whoa, whoa, hey, whoa, whoa, rude boy. Hey, how you say you are rude boy? And you not put down your casket money. How you say you are bad boy? You not put down your funeral money. Hey, hey, bubble and buzz, mommy and darling. Hey, now you're dead. Yeah, my look, come on, babe. They bury your body. Whoa, they bury your body. Hey, and that's a sad story. Hey. And you not put down your casket money. Or you say you a bad boy. You not put down your funeral money. Hey, hey. Problem for you, mommy and daddy. Hey, now you're dead. Them a look Monday. They bury your body. Whoa, they bury your body. Hey, and that's a sad story. Hey.
Yes, wow. That was sick. Domz has sent me music in the past, and I think Jumanji too separately, maybe. But love the collab. Lot of love for that in the chat as well. Wicked tune, what a finisher. Indeed. Proper jungle. I'd be screaming for a reload over the barrier. Yeah, me too. That would be I could just imagine that going. That's like a proper, well-crafted jungle club tune. I could see that totally going down on the dance floor. Mainly for the stops. The start stops are great. Yeah, some really nice, like choppy variation with that bass line as well. I think the fizzy, glitchy bits are like they're made either by like. Do you mean? It could be like a flanger on the drums, or like a delay on the drums, or like time stretching, or actually just like drawing drum fills in at like 16th note really fast. It's probably the time stretch. Double the amen and ever so slightly out of time. So yeah, I really like the ragga vibes going on. Chops are wicked. Like the drum work is totally on point. Love the sampling. It's got that really nice raw 90s feel to it, with like the vocal, this kind of dry vocal, and yeah, I think that works really well. And I wonder where that sample is from, because someone else has answered that kind of the reggae sample alongside it. I'll read what I've written there. Simplicity as well, like the bass is just like so simple but so devastating because of it. A really nice demonstration of restraint that I think works so well in jungle. if you're struggling with jungle bass lines or even drum and bass lines or any bass lines, like simplicity is the key, particularly for the really low end stuff. Mid-range stuff is a bit different. And I wouldn't always even think of it as like bass necessarily, but yeah, love the choppage, love the switch, the breaks, love the kind of the dub siren sounds at points that are coming in. The drop in the middle or the breakdown in the middle, I did think it might be cool to just go to the vocal. Do you know what I mean? I could see that really working on the dance floor if you had just had the vocal on its own before you come back into the drop. And maybe some more one shots, some more like vocal one shots might be cool. Or just, I sometimes get to a point in a track where it's like done, and it's totally it's finished really, but like a few little extra choice sounds, little choice extra one shots, vocal one shots, effects. Really want to keep it like with this kind of tune. I feel like you want to keep it in the world of the jungle world. You know, don't want anything too jarring. But yeah, that would be my thoughts on it. Maybe add a couple more one shots, couple of maybe some different dub siren samples would be cool. Or some other sound clash vocals, or like other one shots like that, maybe some female vocals and stuff like that would be really cool. But yeah, like check out Domz's stream on Twitch. I'll link to that in the description. Whenever I show up, Domz always plays one of my tunes, so it's good to return the favour. Sundog, I've been sleepy all day today, but what a cultural evening. Thanks a lot, people. I'm really inspired by you all. Absolutely. But yeah, that last one was a blinder, a belt. I knew it would be. I just knew, as soon as Jumanji sent me a couple, I was like these would be great to finish with. But finish there I will. So I've still got, we didn't get through all of Emil's tunes or Domz and Jumanji, but starting to lose my voice a bit now. So yeah, I think thanks everyone who submitted tunes for this first round. If I didn't get round to your tune in Discord, I'll just play it on the next live stream, the next feedback stream, which will probably be at some point in the spring. Although we'll see if they're just really popular, I'll do them more. I think this one was, thanks Domz, I'm glad that landed okay. But yeah, like choppage wise, bass wise, groove wise, like impact wise, that would, I don't know if you've played that out, but like I could see that just like, I could see that devastating the dance floor totally. And I reckon just a few little key extra sounds at points might really lift, just take it up that extra 10%. You know what I'm talking about, I think. Yeah, thanks to everyone for submitting tunes. If you're interested in submitting tunes for the next ones, I'll keep the track feedback channel open. Just put them in there, or just message me on Instagram or somewhere else like that, and I'll do my best to incorporate them or point you towards where you can post them. Yeah, thanks everyone for being part. Thanks for the chat, for being so active. Thanks to everyone for really positive comments. I think that's really important. We all just kind of positive, like constructive feedback framed within positivity. It's always good to look from a positive perspective. And really about the opportunities in your music and the problems being the opportunities, and not just like a reason to stop making music, because every problem has a solution. Yeah, you're welcome, GoLab. Thanks GoLab for the idea to do this. I didn't credit you at the start, but thanks very much. Big ups, Jordan. Dundog, great to see you. Yeah, man, mate. Save it for the next stream, or just post it on Discord. And maybe post your another one of your tunes. Be great to play it. If not, just let me know and I'll play the last one you posted. Yeah, really good work, people. Like, carry on, keep making music. But for now, I will wish you all a Merry Christmas. I'll be taking a few weeks off. I probably won't be back until early to mid-Jan. I think that would be good for me to get a bit of time away, get some proper headspace. It's been quite an intense year, another year of live streaming. So Yeah. Cheers, Van Damme. Cheers, Imprints. Cheers, Sheshu. Cheers, Jordan. Cheers, Natural Selecta. Cheers, Emil. Big up, Domz. Big up, everyone. Big up, Marcel. Yeah, happy holidays. Have a great break, everyone, and I will see you in 2024. Thanks, Domz. You too. I hope you get some time off. Yeah. All right. Yeah, cheers, folks. Take care. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.